because the so have you received my screenshots or not for yesterday's class?
Yes, sir, we received.
Yes, sir.
Received, sir.
Okay. So I start for introduction of C language today. So introduction to C language. So what I said more, what is C language? C language is a computer language which understood by the computer. So that language we are talking about as a C language, which understood by the computer, right? So C is a general purpose high level language. So in the previous class we discussed what are the various phases. That means high level language, compilers, and assemblers. These things are machine code. These we discussed in the previous classes, right? So in the high level language, we discussed about the C language, C++, Java. The rest of the things are whatever the normal English you are using for writing the code or writing the program. Those are nothing but high level languages nowadays. So C is a general purpose high level language. Yes, we know it. That was originally developed by Dennis Rich. So Dennis Rich for the Unix operating system. So we have the uh, operating system is Windows as well as Linux or Unix, Fedora, Ubuntu. We have different kinds of operating systems available in the market nowadays. So in 1972, Dennis Rich he's working in some Bell Laboratories. So in that Bell Laboratories, he developed this C language. It is developed for work on Linux operating system, Unix operating system. So if you go with the Unix, so they have developed this Dennis Rich for C language purpose. So which won't works for Windows initially in 1972 because he developed for only Unix operating system. That's what the software having different right. For example, if you take the Android or iOS, it will be different platforms. Android OS is different platform, and iOS is a different operating system. So like that, we will have different applications. Same application whether may works for the both operating system or not. We don't guarantee that, right? Because it supports or not, it depends upon the developer. So that's why when you want to install the application, they will say that for Android, click on this. For iOS, click on this. Like that, they will mention the number of options when you want to install the application on your mobile or iOS. That is Android or iOS. So like that, we have the Unix. So he has developed the C language for Unix operating system. So who developed the C language? Ma? Dennis Rich. So C means Dennis Rich. That you have to remember. Ma. Dennis Rich means C language. C means Dennis Rich. That's it. If anybody asks who developed the C language, Dennis Rich. Forget about the platform, whether it is Windows or Linux, right? So Unix operating system, it was first implemented on the Digital Equipment Corporation (PDP) 11 computer in 1972. So there is a PDP 11 computer in those days. Even I don't know what is the PDP 11 the computer. So in 1972, 1972 means around 5 decades, 52 years, 50 years almost reached, right? So 50 years back, C language developed for the Unix operating system. by the Dennis Ritchie 50 years back. So the Unix operating system and virtually all Unix applications are written in the C language. So whatever the because there is operating system used with the Unix, right? So your applications, whatever you want to install, that may be a MS Office, or that may be a different security. For example, if you want to go with the Quick Heal or Avast or Microsoft Essential, these are the application softwares, right? So in order to install on your computer, it may supports Unix or Windows. So you should know it, right? So the Unix operating system and virtually all Unix applications. So because at that time he developed the C language for Unix operating system only, right? So whatever the applications also he has developed, he thinks that he supports to be on work on Linux operating or Unix operating system only. He doesn't think about the Windows platform. So he's talking about the Unix applications are written in the C language only. So those all applications which are supposed to work on the Unix. So those number of applications he written in the C language. That's what he want to communicate with us. So he has developed that using the C language, those application softwares. So C has now become a widely used professional language for various reasons. Because when you want to start with the languages, commonly widely used language is C language. First the persons learns the concept of only C language. Most of the people, because when you enter into the graduation, you are in the first year, right? So in the first year, this is the first language you are studying in your curriculum. Am I right, ma? Because this starts with the C only. C means computer language. So that's why when you want to study on the computers, you should know what is the C language. So that's why they initially started with the C. So widely used professional language for various reasons. So it is easy to learn. Yes, because we can write in high level language. There is no need to conversion to binary, decimal to binary. No, we are not doing it, right? Once the software is installed on your computer, that is Corbusia or the C++, you can type it on the high level language. So that is nothing but normal English. You can type it. So easy to learn. So easy to learn. We can learn easy also how to write. For addition program, we have seen some example, right? So like that, it is easy to learn. Next, structured language. So when we discussed about the high level language, we discussed about C and CPP difference. C is a procedure oriented language. Is also an enhancement for the C++. That's what we have seen in the previous classes, right? So procedure oriented is C, object oriented is C++. The rest of the things are same. So structured means it is procedure oriented. So step by step we need to follow. The rules to be followed strictly. That is structured. Next, it produces efficient programs. Of course, there is no problem. Produces means whatever you write. So that is the efficient program only, right? Because when you want to develop some output, so you will write some development on that work, the program for that problem, particular problem. You will write it on that problem. So once you know the solution with the C code, so for similar kinds of problems, it is easy to solve. So that's why it produces efficient programs. So for addition, once you wrote some program, so you can change the number of trials by changing the values. You can get the addition of a number of values. That means for initially 2 plus 3, after that 4 plus 5. So any number of addition you can perform with that code. That's what it produces efficient programs. That is accuracy. Accuracy answer you are getting. Next, it can handle low level activities. It can handle low level activities means uh, wow, when you write a program, so if there is an error, particularly we can isolate that particular error, right? So where the error is occurred, we can able to identify. So low level, we can go with the ground level. That means where the error is occurred. So we can rectify there and we can observe everything. Next, it can be compiled on a variety of computers. See, just now we said there may be a different number of compilers available in the market. Some compiler works with the Turbo C, some compiler works with the Dev C++. Like that, we have the number of the compiler. There is no condition like the compiler should be same for Turbo C and Dev C++. It may be differs. Obviously, it may be differs because the developers for the Dev C++ is different. The developers for Turbo C is different. So they may use there is a chance they may use the different compilers because they have their own strategy, right? So the compilers may be different. Like that, it can be compiled on variety of computers. Variety of computers means sometimes Linux we are saying, so like that. Variety means this one also variety. Linux, Windows, Ubuntu, these different platforms are available. In the same platform also, there is no condition where compiler should be same. The Turbo C, Dev C++, which works on Windows, there is no condition that both compilers should be same. It may be different. So like that, we may have the different developer will develop different compilers. So the variety of computers means the variety of operating system, the variety of softwares are available nowadays in the market. Next, facts about C. Facts about C means C was invented to write an operating system called Unix. So when first of all, when there is a hardware, we should have some software. There should be a interface between user and the hardware. That interface is software. I repeat, there is a hardware available, there is a user available. But what is the interface between user and the hardware? The operating system. I can call it as an operating system. So without operating system, you can't handle that hardware. So first of all, in order to work that hardware, we need to go develop some software which works with that hardware. So we have the computer device. Now we need to install the operating system for that. So I need to develop a code to install or to work as an operating system for that device or that hardware. That may be a Linux or that may be a Windows, that may be a Ubuntu. But nowadays, different Windows operating systems are available. So C was invented to write an operating system called Unix. So first of all, they have developed. See nowadays, C language, C code we are calling to write a program. We are calling for the C, right? But initially, when you want to develop some operating system in order to work that hardware, so they wrote the code, entire code in C language. That's what he is saying. I repeat. So initially, nowadays, the C language means we are installing Turbo C or Dev C++ and we are writing some code and we are putting file name .c. We are writing file name .c. So that's nowadays we are working. But the operating system, that may be a Windows or Linux, whatever, initially he is developed the Unix operating system with the C language only. So C was invented to write an operating system called Unix. So initially the Dennis Rich invented this or developed this C language for the operating system purpose. Are you following? So that code, whatever he developed, that is for the purpose of the operating system, which works on Unix platform. Next, C is a successor of B language, which was introduced around 1970. In 1972, Dennis Rich developed the C plus, that is C language. So the basic version of the C successor means basic version they started with B. So after that, they may thought that so why should we call it as an a B? See, we are calling computer, so we call it as a computer language, C language. So C is the successor of B language, which was introduced around 1970s. So in 1970, there is a B language. 1972, Dennis Rich developed the C language in 1972. Operating system in Unix. He invented that for the purpose of operating system, not for general this kind of programs. Nowadays, for problem solving, we are using this C language. When there is a problem, for that problem, you are writing some code or you are writing some program in C. But initially, for the development of the operating system, he used that C language by Dennis Rich in 1972. The language was formalized in 1988. The language was formalized. Formalized means there will be a different platforms will be there. So if you want to develop one thing, it should work on more things. Like when you want to install the Turbo C, so in the initial stage itself, it is asking for what is your platform. That is Android or that is Windows or that is Linux. So it is like that. It is asking initially. Why? Because he has developed both the things. 1988 by American National Standard Institute, ANSI. So the abbreviation for ANSI is American National Standard Institute. Next, by 1973, Unix OS almost totally written in C. Yes, this is also important. See, in 1972, Dennis Rich developed a C, invented or developed a C language which works for developing the operating system in Unix platform, right? But when it comes to the 1973, almost totally written in C, that OS, that operating system, totally written in C language only. So in 1972, he may return some of the codes with C, some of the codes with other languages, maybe. That is the meaning for this sentence, right? So, but when it comes to the 1973, almost totally written in C language only. Maybe B language, we said some in 1970s there is a B language. So maybe uh, the success C is the successor of B language, is it right? So maybe some portion may be B language, rest of the portion may be C language. But when it comes to the 1973, totally written in almost totally written in C language only. So today C is the most widely used system programming language. Yes, now this is come to you. This word is system programming language. Now we are using as system programming language for a particular problem. To solve that problem, we are writing some code. We are writing some programming by using C language. So nowadays we are using today C is the most widely used system programming language. So previously, it is developed for operating system. C language we widely used in operating system, but now when it comes for today, it is the most widely used system programming language. So for the programming concept is introduced, and we are using to write the programs in C language for the solving of particular problems. Not not only for the operating system, we are using for this one also, because nowadays uh, we have the different operating system with different languages it may be developed. There is no condition, right? Like you have to develop the operating system with the C code only, because the C code lines are number of lines are more when you compare to nowadays. Uh, we have the availability of number of languages in the market, so which reduces our number of lines of code. So that's why I may change to C to other language to write that code in lesser lines with the same operating system. That's what, right? So for the same thing, when you solve this C program, we discussed about some example of addition, right? Initially. So what we have done, we have integers of ABC we have taken, we performed C equals to B, A plus B, we have done everything we have done, right? But when it goes to the Python, when you want to pop up, you can directly line a single line answer. You'll get answer in single line. A drastic change now for the platforms. If I had to see for addition program, it is taking 3-4 lines. But when it's Python, it is taking only single line for addition directly. Already predefined functions are already inserted in that one. So you just there is no need to declare everything. You just mention that addition and which is already predefined operators or functions. So directly it is giving the output as an answer. With a single line you are getting the answer. So that's what. There is a drastic change. The number of code of lines are reduced for the different platforms, different languages. So, okay, come back to the C only. First, learn the C. After that, discuss about the rest of the things or think about the rest of the languages. So, today C is the most widely used system programming language. So, just for when you want to start a program, you start with the C programming only. So, after that, rest of the language, you will think about the things. So, most of the state of the art software have been implemented using C only. State of the art software have been implemented using C. So because initially we don't have this kind of Python, these things, so we don't have. So initially we have the C. So we used that C language for all the cases, not only for the operating system, for the problem solving also, for programming, we have used the C language. That application software also, we have developed the code in C language only. So later, nowadays we have the availability of different languages are in the market is available. So we are going with reducing the user friendly. That's what we discussed, right? Which is comfortable to the user. In Python, you are getting the answer in single line. So which you will prefer? Some people said, sir, why to go with C, sir? I will go with Python. It gives directly. If I write 2 plus 3, it is giving 5 directly. There is no need to declare the variables, everything. There is no need. So like that, there is a drastic change in the language nowadays. But the initial thing is C. So next, why to use C? Why to use C? C was initially used for system development work. Yes, because the system development work means in order to work the operating system, in order to because if you develop some operating system, in that operating system there will be a default number of variants will be there. For example, if you connected with the internet, it has to accept. So for that also you need to write code. If you want to give some printout, so there will be a print up that related code also you have to write. So these are the system development work. This kind of things we call it as a system development work because it is enhancing the features of that computer, providing the internet facility, uh, giving the printing facility like that, scanning everything. So nowadays the default things are available with the operating system. See, if you purchase a laptop nowadays, in the operating system uh, Windows 10, which is defaultly giving the Windows 10 pre-installed Windows 10 they are providing with the free of cost. Some companies are giving. For example, if you take Dell company, when you purchase the laptop, so it is giving the operating system default, that is Microsoft Word with the operating system only. So that means default they are giving. Operating system means they are pre-installing and giving the licensed one. There is no need to purchase that one for you. So like that, they are giving more comfortable to the user. So they are thinking on that lines. So C was initially used for system development work, in particular the programs. Yes, that make up the operating system. So which gives the better enhancement in the operating system. So that kind of system development they have done with the C language only. C was adopted, that is missing. Adopted as a system development language because it produces code that runs nearly as fast as code written in assembly language. Some examples of might be see the examples of operating system. They have developed in the C language, the language compiler. So we need a compiler also, right? When you write some code, when you write some program, it needs to compile. Why it needs to compile? Is there any error or not? And you have written in high level language that should be converted to next level. That level next to converted to the assembly language. Next level machine code. Like that it will be having. So machine language compilers, assemblers, yes, assemblers. So in the previous class, I said I will show these phases, right? I will show it. Wait, it will come. Assemblers, text editors, uh, printers, spoolers, network drivers. So network drivers means LAN. If you connect with the LAN on the system, so the driver should be pre-installed. Then only it will recognize your LAN or MAN or WAN, whatever LAN, MAN, WAN, or internet. So which has to recognize. So you should have the network drivers in that operating system. Modern programs, so databases, language interpreters, so utilities. So whatever these things you use nowadays, you are not able to see these things because which are already installed in developed in some software or in the operating system itself. So when you discuss about the C program files, there will be a VI editor. Okay, all the C programs are written in text files. Yes, it is text only, right? We are writing in English language, normal English. That is in text only we are writing. So all the C programs are written into text files with extension .c. So that's what. Yes, he has mentioned one example also, hello.c. So you want to just printf hello. You want to say hello. So you developed a code. You have written some code. It has to print when you execute it. It has to say hello. Hello, hi CSC students, hi first year CST student. So like that I can whatever I want to write. So it will show it on the screen. So hello.c. So you can use VI editor to write your C program into a file. Yes. So by using VI editor, you have to write into a file. C program, when you want to write it in a file, you have to use VI editor. That's the meaning of it. Huh? Using the VI editor, you have to write into a file. Yes. Next topic is history to language. History to language. C is a general purpose language which has been closely associated with Unix operating system for which it was developed. So initially when Dennis Rich developed the C language, he used it for operating system only, not for the programming purpose. So that's why it is the general purpose. That's why it is saying as general purpose language. So general purpose means for all the purpose we will use. So which is closely associated with Unix operating system. Since the system and most of the programs that run it are written in C only, because the operating system is on C, the application softwares also written in C only. So many of the important ideas of system from the language BCPL developed by Martin Richards. The influence of BCPL on C processed indirectly through the language B. So that's what. So which is in 1970s there is a only B language. We don't have the C language. C language was developed and are invented in 1972, right? So initially we have the B language only before that, which was written by Ken Thompson. Ken Thompson in 1970 at Bell Labs. Okay, so B language also developed in Bell Labs only for the first Unix system on a PDP. So the systems we said, right? PDP 7, PDP 11 we discussed. The typeless provide data types. 1972, Dennis Rich at Bell Labs. So same at Bell Labs only. In 1970s, we have the B language. In 1972, Dennis Rich developed C language. So that's what. So in the same laboratories, Bell, 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 Bell Labs, right? C, and in 1978, the publication of the C programming language by uh, Kernang and Ritchie caused a revolution in the computing world in 1983. So, okay, there is no need to remember these 1978 and 1983, these things. Huh? The first one is, if they want to ask, they will ask in which year or which person developed the C language. Dennis Rich, 1972. The American, in 1983, the American National Standards Institute, ANSI, established a committee to provide a modern or comprehensive definition of C. So the resulting definition, the ANSI standard or ANSI C, was completed late 1988. ASCII code is different. ASCII code is different. ANSI means American National Standard Institute. So they are established a committee to provide a modern, comprehensive definition of C. So they are asking for what is the definition for C. So for that, the structure, how it is. So for that purpose, they have constituted a committee. Established means constituted a committee in 1983. Later, it is in 1988. It is completed. So the basic structure of C programming like this: documentation section. The basic structure of C programming: documentation section, link section, definition section, global declaration section, next main functions section, next open brace, declaration part, executable part, next closed brace, subprogram section. So which user defined functions? I can define pre functions, user defined functions also I can define. So what is the documentation section? What is the link? So he has given elaborately one. Just so documentation section. The documentation section consists of a set of comment lines giving the name of the program, the author, and the other details which the programmer would like to use later. So you can save it as an hello.c. So hello.c. So by seeing that hello.c, oh, this program is only prints hello, hi, something like that it prints. So by seeing that, the user will identify that, okay, this program is related to say hi. Fibonacci series dot c. Okay, so for Fibonacci series purpose, this program is developed. By seeing that only you can identify. So that is called documented section. No? That is the saying, which is user latter means easy to identify, and you can access that program also, right? Link section. The link section provides instructions to the compiler. Yes, because we need a relation with the compiler, with the high level language to convert into, it gives the high level language to the compiler only, right? So there will be a linker to link functions from the system libraries, such as using the hash include directives means hash include stdio.h. I just mentioned as hash include, I typed as hash include stdio.h. So it is a system library. In the system library, there is a stdio.h. You go to there And if I mentioned whatever the related to the stdio.h, you just brought from that system library. That is the meaning of library, and it takes the information which is available in the stdio.h, which we asked in the current program. It is a already predefined library. That means a system library. There is a system library first of all. So when you type stdio.h, ponyo.h, so these are the things we already available in the system library. Next, definition section. So the definition section defines all symbolic constants, constants such using the hash defined directive. So when you say hash defined, when you say these things, it has to the system has to know these things, right? So that is also available in the symbolic means symbols. Those things also will be retrieved from this definition section. So once you go through one program, you will understand these all the things. Next, global declaration section. What is local and what is global, ma? Local means within the function. When you when you write a function, or when you write a function within the function, if you define it, it is local. So global means it has to work for all the program. Anywhere you can use those variables. So that is the difference for local and global. Global means any variable, any location you can utilize that variable. So there are some variables that are used in more than one function. Yes, in one function it is local. If it is more than one means in the entire program, if you want to utilize that one, you can utilize. You can utilize. So by using the global declaration section. Such variables are called global variables. Such variables are global variables. Global variables means not in one function, more than one function we can utilize in the same program. So that's why there are some variables that are used in more than one function. So if you write some program, there is no restriction that only you have to use one function. Yes, I can write more than one function. So I want to use that variable in more than one function. That kind of variables we call it as a global variables. If you use more than one function, that variables are global variables. Simple thing. Simple you have to remember is global, local variable, global variable. Local variable within the single function. Global variable means you can utilize in the program any number of functions in that one. So that is simply we can say more than one function. More than one means it may be a 10 or it may be a 2, it may be a 3, it may be a n number of functions also. So that is global. So more than one function we can use that variable. That kind of variables we call it as a global variables. Next. Such variables are called global variables and are declared in the global declaration section. That is outside of all the functions. Yes. If you write in single function, that comes under as local. So out of all the functions I can declare, that becomes the global then only. So outside of all the functions. So that means after the main function, you can say. This section also declares all the user defined functions. Next, main function section. So every C program must have one main function. You have to remember one thing, for every C program must have one main function. Without main function, it won't works. It won't works. So there should be one main function for every C program. This section contains, sorry. So this section contains two parts. One is the declaration part and another one is executable part. So within the main function only, we will write the code as well as we will write, that means we will declare and we will get execution. Execution means the output. What is the output also? So that is executable part. So declaration part as well as executable part, both should be covered within this main function only. Part declares all the variables used in the executable part. So that's why oriented ones. So once you declare, you declare at the initial stage only. When you want to declare at the executed level, you can't do it. You have to go back to the declaration part and you have to include those variables. Then only those variables works in the. So you have to declare there itself in the declaration part only. The executable part also it is we can use that variables. So declaration variables we can use in the execution part also. Next, executable part. There is at least one statement. There is at least one statement in the executable part. So executable printf, printf hello, printf hello. So there is one at least one sentence. These two parts must appear between the opening and closing braces. Yes, that's what, right? When you starts with the main function, after main function, we will open the open brace. Once it is completed with the executable part, we will close the brace, closed brace. So open brace, closed brace within the main function. So whatever you want to write the declaration or execution part, within those open brace and closed brace only you have to write. So the closing brace of the main function is logical end of the program. All these statements in the declaration and execution part end with a semicolon. So whatever the declaration part or whatever the execution part. So when you want to declare yes, for example, int a comma b comma c. So after that you have to put semicolon. So that's what he is saying. So all the statements, whatever the statements you have used, all the statements in the declaration and executable part ends with the semicolon. So you have to put the semicolon. All the statements. Next, subprogram section. Subprogram section means if the program is a multifunction program. If the program is a multifunction program, then the subprogram section contains all the user-defined functions that are called in the main function. So within the main function only, we are calling those things, but we have multitasking, multi functions. So, for example, in one function, if you want to perform one thing in the other function, I may use the different one. So there is no condition that both the functions should be related to the same topic, right? So there may be a different function. So that's what. No? So user different functions are generally placed immediately after the main function. So user different functions are generally placed immediately after the main function. Once you define the main function, if there are any user different functions, you have to declare there itself. After the main function only, you have to declare this. So once you start writing the program, you have to go through these all points. I repeat, once you start doing practical lab session when you want to do a C program on the computer, so you start you have to observe parallelly what is the these points. What are these points? Then you will understand these points. Although they may appear in any order, so there is no restriction. They may appear in any order. Next, process of compiling and running C program. Process of compiling and running C program. We will briefly highlight key features of the C compilation model here. So in the yesterday's class, I said in the Turbo C or Dev C++, These are the some behind the other software. There are some phases, right? These are those phases. These are those phases. So first there will be a into pure high level because the compiler should take pure high level language. So after the preprocessor, the pure high level language will be given to the compiler. The compiler will do all the phases. Even compiler is having the number of phases which you will study in the compiler design section subject. Compiler design subject, there is a subject for you. You will study these compilers as a one subject in your curriculum. So the preprocessor means pure high level language to pure high level language. So that is the preprocessor job. So after preprocessor job, you will get the pure high level language. So pure high level language will be given to the compiler. The compiler will takes that pure high level language and it gives the assembly code. So assembly code will be taken by the assembler and it will use the object code with to the linker or loader we can call. So object code will be taken and use the executable code. Executable code means which understood by the machine language. That is machine code. So uh, these are the phases behind your Turbo CR Dev C++. So the C compilation model. The C compilation model, the preprocessor. The preprocessor accepts source code as input and is responsible for removing comments. That means uh, pure high level language to pure high level language, I said, right? So it will remove the comments. It will remove the comments and interpreting special preprocessed directives donated by hash callers. So it will remove those hashes and comments. These will be removed. So when you write as a high level language, it should be converted with the pure high level language. That will be done by preprocessor. So preprocessor will remove the comments as well as hash like hash codes. These will be removed when it gives to the compiler. Before going to give to the compiler, these will be eliminated or removed. So for example, he has given one example also, hash include. So includes contents of a named file, files usually called header files. There will be a header file, there will be a trailer. Those things later we'll see. We can see, just observe this example. Hash include math.h. So math related means performance of division, multiplication. These things will declare under math.h, stdio.h, the standard library math files. So it goes to the math files which are available in the system library. So whatever we declare, it goes there and it will retrieve from that stdio.h. So standard library input output files. So input output, standard input output. H means header files. H stands for header. Math.h is there, right? stdio.h. H means header. H stands for header. Define. Defines a symbolic name or constant. So macro substitution. Define max array size 100 he has taken. So we can take it, not a problem. So next C compiler, assembler, link editor, we have one by one. C compiler. The C compiler translates source to assembly code. That's what I said, right? So after compilation, it won't convert into zeros and ones. That is machine code. So it won't directly convert into zeros and ones. That will be converted into assembly code only. Assembly code will be taken care by the assembler. Assembler code will takes the assembly code and it will use the process and it gives to the next level. So there are phases. After that, all phases only will get the zeros and ones. That is machine code. So the source code is received from the preprocessor. Yes, no issue. So preprocessor will receive it, it removes the comments and hashtags. So after that, compilation will be done. After compilation, assembly code will be given to the assembler. So the assembler creates object code. Yes, object code on a Unix system. You may see files with a dot o suffix. That suffix a dot o dot object on MS DOS object code file. So there will be a link editor. So if a source file references library functions or functions defined in other source files, the link editor combines these functions with the main function to create an executable file. So the linker will taken care those things that we call it as a link editor. So it will link all the things, whatever you write on the main function. Next, C tokens. C tokens. So when you study the compilers subject, you will know these tokens keywords because the compiler also having different phases. In the first phase, it will converts into tokens part. It will converts into tokens, the stream of tokens. The given language or the given code is converted into stream of tokens. That you will learn in the subject of compiler design. Don't worry, just for the sake of understanding, just go through it now once. The detailed things you will learn in the compiler design about the compilers. So C tokens are the basic building blocks. C tokens are the basic building blocks in C language, which are constructed together to write a C program. Yes. So stream of tokens, whatever the code we are calling, that code we call it as a stream of tokens. Each and every smallest individual unit in a C program is known as C token. Yes. C tokens are 6 types. They are keywords, identifiers, constants, strings, special symbols, operators. So what are the keywords, ma? Integers, while components. These are the keywords. Identifiers, mean, total. This kind of things are identifiers. Constants means which won't change. 10, 20. These are the constants, right? The constant values won't change. Strings, the total length, string length, how much strings means, for example, you have given the string length is 10, you have taken the string as total, only 5 total. So no issue, it will print because the string length you have mentioned as 10, so no issue. Hello, string length is also you can 10, you can print it as a hello also. So you have to these also comes under tokens portion only. Next, special symbols. So open closure braces. These are the we call it as special symbols. Operators means addition, division, multiplication. These all we call it as an operators. Plus multiplication. These are operators only, right? So these are the keywords. Just to go through the, I think it is already time. So I'll stop it for today. So and I will take the next class day after tomorrow. We have the class, right? So day after tomorrow, I will start with the C keywords. Yeah, here take the attendance and send me the screenshot of today's attendance. All of you wait for a while, ma.
Sir.
Took, ma. So that's all for today. Okay, right, ma. So that's all for today.